Greetings, everybody. We are back at it on election night here in the States. So a lot of people are glued to their media trying to see if their vote counted and where it went. It's been a busy day here in the studios, cleaning up some things. So what we are going to get into tonight is a super fun, old school lesson that has not been brought to you right here with GoDaddy yet. And that is, we are going to be making like some 3D words that are going to be popping off the page. And so you get to learn a new technique. And we're going to talk about the importance of this little guy right here, Mr. Eraser. I have tons and tons of the white and pink and brown different types of gum erasers, which are used for different types of drawing pencils like this. I don't know, we got a 2B right here, which is a nice soft one. And then y'all know your typical HB, which is great for making lines. We're going to be using this one tonight. Take care of your erasers. Don't destroy them. It's not fun and they don't like it. And then it makes all your erasing just ugly and smudgy. Now, if that's something you want, you can have an old beater eraser and it creates nice smudges across your page. But if you want clean work, keep your eraser tidy. All right, so since it's election night here, we are going to be talking about this word, vote. Does it count? You can use any word you want. All you have to do is follow along the technique, and we're going to talk about how to make it jump off the page in 3 easy steps. So we're going to get into the creation station and check it out. All right, so here we are back in the creation station, and we are going to work landscape style for tonight's drawing. You can go portrait style if you want to. It really doesn't matter. I want to do it so I can get everything really clear across the page for you guys. So pick any words you want. It helps to start with something easier, some vowels and consonants, so you have some variety. And the first step is you can create your word any way you want. You don't have to do it the way I do it. I'm going to fan it across like a deck of cards, but how you do it is your choice. Now, we're going to make block letters, some sort of block letters, bubble letters, thick letters, however you want to do it. But I'm going to start with a very light sketch. So I'm going to use the word vote. I'm going to kind of jam my letters close together. And then I'm going to bring my E down a little bit. All right. And then you have to think of where is your movement point? Where are we moving to? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a dot somewhere along the bottom. And it could be over here, which means it's going to go this way. Be over here, it could be down in the middle. I'm going to go a little bit right of the middle, just for some fun. So I'm going to come down to the middle, and you know, look at that little piece of dirt stuck on there. I'm just going to go ahead and go right there, and that's going to be my focal point. So the next step is going to be to make them bubble letters. So I like to make it thin on one side, and it gets thicker to the other side. So I'm just going to go ahead and go around my letters. That'll be my thin side, and then that will be my thick side. Okay, and now with the O, we can decide, do I want the O on top of the V or behind it? I want it behind it. So thin side, thick side, thin side, and then we're going to go thin side by keeping it close, and then thick by keeping it far away. All right, O is going to go over the T, so we're going to have a thin side, and it's going to get wider as it goes. And, you know, I'm going to bring this one back just a little bit. So there we go, using Mr. Eraser tonight. All right, thick side, thin side a little bit closer. So don't be afraid to catch yourself in a mistake and fix it. All right, thin side on the E over here. Get thicker as we go out, thinner as we go in. Stop a little bit farther away than we did on the initial edge. Thicker as it goes out. All right, so those are gonna be my letters. So I'm happy with them. I'm like what I did in pencil. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna outline the letters, and nothing on the letters is getting covered up. The letters are gonna be the prominent part of my design. So outlining them right now is perfectly okay, because that kind of says like, hey, I'm the most important thing on the page. And the little shooting that we're gonna create, the movement, that's gonna be secondary. So, go ahead, and we got a nice fresh Sharpie tonight. Been used for our previous Naruto zombie drawing. So, if y'all have thoughts and comments on that one, I haven't really gotten much feedback. I'd be interested to know, how did you like zombies? It was something a little bit different that we don't normally do on here, but in the spirit of Halloween, you know, we gotta kind of play along. Now, at this point, here we go. We're gonna take that eraser and we're gonna get rid of this inside letter. We really don't need that anymore. So, we'll let it go. All right, get our little bit moving out. Okay, and get the O. And then, you know, when we color this, it's gonna cover everything up, however you wish to do that. Paint it, whatever, leave it black and white. Who knows? All right, so now what we're looking at is we are looking at points on the letter to go to this focal point. Now, I typically eyeball them, all right, but just so you guys can see how you might work if you were to use a straight edge, nothing there, all right? If it's gonna overlap your letter, you don't want it, all right? So we're gonna draw like a straight line right to there. See how I drew that? All right, now, I am gonna eyeball the rest. So on a sharp letter like a V, we're looking at points, all right? Whoop. All right, on this part of the V, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna draw coming down. I'm gonna erase just like that. All right. Now, if you wanted to go over the O and cover it up, you could do that too. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna get the edge of our letter. And we're just gonna kind of, if you have a round letter, just kind of work down like that. Now, as an artist, we do also get to make choices. So one of those choices would be like, do I want that? Or do I want this? So I'll leave those lines there and we can decide later. The T is clearly behind, so we can go ahead and do this. If we wanted to go in front of our E, that would be fine. We're gonna go ahead like this for this one, and then I'm gonna make my choice to use the eraser. It did, however, help me get a straight line. Now, if I get my E like this, then I decide, you know what? I don't want that anymore. I want my E to be prominent. I'm gonna go ahead and take this corner, and go right through there, erase where it overlaps. I'm gonna take this corner, go right here, erase where it overlaps, and this one, not gonna get it. I'm gonna take this corner right here and erase where it overlaps. Now, because the bottom goes from edge to edge, we keep this, or we can get rid of this whole bottom section. But like I said, it's about making choices. If you wanna keep that for some reason, that is totally fine. So now we have our shooting parts of our letters. We have this, we have a little section in our T right here. We have T coming behind. We have the bottom, we have the O. Then we got this little choice that I made over here. Now, this is one of the things where, like I said, I wanted to outline this as being prominent, but now I'm left with the decision that I should probably either get rid of this or cover it up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it, and that's okay. But if you wanted to make a different choice in a future drawing, that is totally cool. Now, here's another fun thing you can do, however. All right, we can go ahead and do the middle section in our O. So if you wanted to create some sort of contrast in your O, you could do something like that. All artistic decisions. Now, we have one final thing to think about. Do we want it to shoot all the way down, or do we want it to stop, let's say halfway? And I want to show you how to do that. So what we want to think about is parallel lines. Those are two lines that run right next to each other. They don't go like this or that or intersect. They go right next to each other. So if we were to take this angle and move about halfway, we're going to get something just like this. So what we're going to do as we move through our drawing is we're going to follow the parallel line and make it connect to the last point where we left off. So this goes outward just a little bit. Okay, then this goes from here to here and it follows a curve like that. So that's kind of a fun one. The T goes slightly downward. All right, and then we have a gap in space. So what we'll do is we'll create, when you do something like this, we'll have a little line going across, and then we imagine about how far up are we moving, and we repeat that line. And what you're going to see is this space is equivalent to this space. Okay, so that's going to make it look more realistic. So we're going to end up losing some of this stuff down here. Same thing up above, except it slants downward a little bit. All right, so there's our T, and then our E. We're going to imagine we're coming across here, and we're just going to go down like that. So at this point, I am going to outline all the good stuff, aside from what we're going to call a little mistake over here, which is totally cool. It'll add a little funk to our work. And we are keeping the good stuff. We are outlining the good stuff, highlighting the good stuff, doing all that. I'm going to go around just like this. I'm up the side of the O, get that little line, get our T, 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 E, 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 E. So, here, and you know what? Let's go ahead and just go round with it. We're just going to kind of round off that O, and that gives us a guide. Now comes our eraser. And this is a great way to understand the eraser as a tool. We're not using it to get rid of a mistake. We were using it to help us remove our guide, which gave us this super cool work of art. And now, since we're just going to rock the red, white, and blue tonight, what I'm going to do for everyone is we're going to go like an American flag, and maybe you could do it like your home country or whatever word you did, some colors that you would like to choose. And I'm going to go ahead and go blue for my entire word. No, I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go blue for every other letter. So the V and the T. I'm going to leave the O and the E. White. And then we're going to do the same thing with the red and alternate a pattern. So go red, white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red. All right, so now we have a fair bit of balance. At this point, this is where I'm going to make an artistic decision and say, you know what? Sometimes you see gold stars. There's not enough color happening in here. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of gold in it to kind of spruce it up a little bit. And we'll sign our work and say goodbye to everyone tonight. We'll get a little color in here and a little bit right here. And the cool thing is, you know, you got to pick the materials you're using. Maybe using a marker might be cool with the pastels. We're getting a little bit of color blending, and I am totally cool with that for a tutorial. And, you know, to add a little pop to it, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little hint of blue in our shadow just to mix it up. We're gonna sign our work on the bottom, and we're gonna remind ourselves that this was 2021. So I hope you all have enjoyed tonight's video, and we will catch you on the flip side. All right, welcome back. We are on the flip side with tonight's awesome 3D lettering boom wow project. And so what I would like to do is to always remind you to make multiples, look at your mistakes as discoveries, and you know, just kind of find your passion and find your voice and find your inner talent, because we all have unique, different ways to share the amazing things that we have going on up here. I want to thank my 30 new subs who joined this month in October. We're in November now. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, and most importantly, leave some comments. Anything you guys suggest, which we have been lacking a little bit recently, we'll give you a shout out. And if you reach out, we will find a way to get the art out to you so you can have your own personal copy upon completion. So I can't wait to see what everybody thinks. Send some pictures of your work, but most of all, never stop drawing. Peace.